recording snacks.
Yeah, man. What's going on with you, Jer?
It's all good, man. I'm keeping busy working on uh still working on the graphic novel for Kid Flash.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm like deep into that. So that's a good time over at DC, and then I'm wrapped up at Warner Brothers for right now, but um I'm starting a new show that I'm
Ooh,
doing. Yeah, I'm doing not storyboards, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
That's
I'm
right.
excited about that. Yeah.
Hey, Candace. Yeah. What is okay? So we have transitioned up to not storyboards. Would that
Yeah,
be
yeah,
okay?
yeah. This
Can
is
you, can you say what your
um
role is? Even if you can't say what you're working on, can you say what your role is?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm art directing, so
ooh.
that's like uh the show is going to look like my art. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, it's exciting. It's like storyboards is like really cool, but it's a grind. Like,
Oh.
you're it's almost nonstop.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like design like comes more naturally to me.
Okay.
So it's something that while I'm doing it, like it's even more fun and
Hmm.
um, rewarding.
When did you when did you figure out that design was came more naturally to you? When did that?
I mean, somewhere in the middle of this last like 7 years or so. Like
Yeah.
you know what? Not in the middle. Like really while I was working on X-Men.
Hmm.
Okay.
Because I was doing. I mean, done a pretty good amount of like freelance design work for like toys and whatever. Some action series stuff in Canada, but like while I was working on X-Men, I was also doing a lot of like just stuff for myself. So like while I was doing those things, I felt like I was really growing,
Yeah.
um, and kind of finding a voice in terms of like character design, and and then also at that same time we were me, Penny, and Brian were we were developing our series at Cartoon Network. So we were
Right.
doing a lot of, designing and writing. And, it's fun. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have, like for me, it just doesn't have the
It's
stress
it's
that,
still
that
work. It's
story
less
storyboards
grind,
bring.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's less of a grind. But it's
Yeah.
still work. I
Hmm.
dig that. Are you? I mean, look. How long have you been in California now?
I think it's been like 8 years now.
Okay. Um. Are you ever surprised at your own resume?
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I, I don't know if it's surprised, but is is definitely like one of these things where like sometimes I have to like take a step back and be like, wow, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the very first thing that I did in animation was Ultimate Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
like jumping in there and then moving out to LA and like you know just the palm trees, the swimming pools, the movie stars, all that. Like uh it's crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when I'll never forget, like one day I just ran into Master P in the elevator at Warner Brothers, like just casually.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of all the things.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I saw I was at the Popeyes when I was at lunch at Warner Brothers, and
Mm.
then I saw
Hold on. Hold on.
T-Balls.
Wait a minute. Run it back. Let me just make sure I caught that. Are you telling me that there's a Popeyes at Warner Brothers?
Not not at one. So
Okay,
not
I
at
just
Warner
listen.
Brothers.
I just, I
It's
just mean, I'm
inside
about to be
the
like, hold
inside the
up.
headquarters. You got a Popeyes downstairs.
it's like right outside. It's like right
Okay,
outside.
all right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
got it.
Or it used to be that they moved that Warner Brothers sold that space, so
Okay,
they're not right there anymore.
they're not
But
there. Okay,
yeah, it was
okay,
convenient.
I dig it. I mean, nah, I get
Yeah.
that, but I'm just saying, if they had had a Popeyes like in
Oof.
the Warner Brothers,
And their food
They
court.
hey,
no, so in the building I was in most recently, they have a bunch of little restaurants in there. They
yeah,
don't have no fried chicken.
mm, they don't know. They don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I
It's like a
tell
little
them.
food court in there.
Yeah, yeah. They have like a coffee shop. They got a a little salad like place where they make the salads for you. They're building for you, and
Okay,
then they got kebabs, like a kebab spot, and then um, pizza. They do like made to order sandwiches in there. All it's
I
nice.
mean, it sounds. I was gonna
Okay.
say it sounds kind of nice,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though there's no fried
But
chicken.
ain't no fried chicken. Yeah.
It's no fried chicken.
You know,
It's,
it's maybe
there
not
just
great
isn't.
for you. So, what's up, Zayna?
Zayna.
Yeah. You know, your your resume. I'm gonna go back to that for a second. When you think about your own resume, it's not just like the things that you've worked on, but the things that you have done in, the different like roles, capacities that you've had. Do you Have you ever looked at it? We've had conversations amongst ourselves, right? At Loading Snacks. Nan says, "Hi, Jerry and fellas. Hey, back, man." Well, like sometimes we have to like go back and remind ourselves like some of the things that we've managed to accomplish, some of the things that we've done, and like really think about what our resume really looks like and how that qualifies us for things that maybe we wouldn't have realized that we qualified for. Has that happened? Have there been things where you're like, maybe this isn't the thing I would go for, but nah, I have this, and this on my resume. I could, I can do that.
So I not quite in that way. Just
Okay.
because like in my head I'm there isn't a thing that if the opportunity showed up that I would just be like no. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Right.
I'm always yeah, like whatever it is I believe I can handle it. I believe I
Yeah.
can pick it up. I can get there. I can, you know what I mean? Like in terms of
That's
like
that Cyclops Leonardo
Ah.
leadership.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? Mark on you. I got you. Okay.
yeah, I just like because what I think the thing that got all of us like to where we are, I'm talking about you guys too, but like definitely me, Penny, Flash, like um we're not afraid to take that step forward. Like if, like I remember like back when we were first getting started and like we were doing, I remember like the first time, we made the decision to shell out all the money to go do New York Comic Con. Like it was at that time, like right now it seems like, yeah, just do it. But, at that time it was like a huge risk
It's
and it
very
was,
step. Yeah.
yeah, and we were up for the challenge then, or something simple like I mean, you remember back in the day, like Identity used to be like 12 people or something like that, and we would all be at one table.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? So even saying okay, so we want to get two tables. Like the first time we got two tables, you know what I mean? Like that was this financial investment, and
Mhm.
we're I think we've always been willing to like take that leap of faith
Yeah.
and So it's for me, like I'm always willing to do that, and I'm
Yeah,
always ready for it. And I think that honestly, like after I did the X-Men, like people were more interested, like period.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so I have been fortunate enough to kind of experience that, especially with the like the industry being really kind of contracted. It actually feels like it's starting to open back up to me, but
Sure.
yeah, but it like it's one of those things where I can say, oh, I worked on X-Men, and like people just know what it is, so
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like it that like alleviates all this like
That'd be a great
stress.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have
It's
you have you ever taken that leap, run that risk, and had it not pay off?
yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, um, my first, not the first show I did at Warner Brothers while I was on Scooby Doo. Like that didn't really end great for me. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like um, I left that show pretty down on myself and my abilities. Like I had a really hard time with um like how that show sort of worked. And I think my director and I, we just weren't a good match. And it was early enough in my animation career that like I didn't understand that.
Sure.
So, like you trying to figure out like how to internalize that situation and then move on to the next thing. Like that was tough.
Okay. I dig
Yeah.
it. Then pop that back up.
Yep.
Any in the chat? What she say? Going off on this topic, do you guys also surprise yourself with what you've been able to accomplish as a crew with all the cons you're able to do as press? Um, it's less surprising now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, but it's there are still times when it's surprising. Like, um, I think more for us now. It's more within you can take that off the screen.
Oh
See,
yeah. Shoot.
it's more surprising some of the other stuff we get. Like, we are in positions to host and kind of do like stage management and stuff like that. Wait, um, so yeah, like we do get opportunities to do things that weren't part of. To be honest with you, none of this was part of the plan. Like,
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, the reality of it is that this was just supposed to be us talking
Talking.
trash about
Yeah.
video games. Really, is what it was supposed to be, and it just grew into a lot more. And then whether it was through natural ability or just learning how to do it, and the word of the day saying be malleable. um we kind of picked up on doing other things. So, like, what I will tell you that probably the first opportunity I had to moderate a panel, I did it for you all. You guys had a panel, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't know if somebody was supposed to moderate and something happened or whatever, but you all
We
had a
definitely
panel. I
asked you.
think it was at Awesome
I
Con,
remember that too. Yeah. We had to
Yeah,
and
step
yeah,
y'all
we
were
in.
like,
definitely asked.
"Do you want to do it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, all right." You know what I mean? And just went up and do it. And that was maybe like 20 minutes notice. It was just kind of like, "Yeah, I got it though. Let's just go do it." And that is kind of the same thing I think you're talking about, Jerry, where it's
Yeah,
like, you just got to jump in. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
take the leap. Um, and oftentimes that leap of faith does pay off, and when it doesn't, you learn how to tuck and roll. So
yeah, yeah.
that's part of it. You got some hard falls, and you learn how to tuck and roll. Um,
So
how?
with
Go
that
ahead.
awesome con in particular, that's a
Mhm.
great example because we we just got ourselves a panel. You know what I mean? Like we hadn't done one before. Not
Yeah.
Yeah,
not our own panel. And
right.
so I for sure when we asked you, we asked because we figured you would help bring some structure and help us navigate the whole thing. But it was just like, yeah, let's do this. Why not?
I
Why
mean, I
not
appreciate
us?
you taking that, making that guess, because I was definitely doing guesswork. Yeah, but again, it was just like, but you know, but I'll be real with you. That panel, there are people who we are friends with, and I say friends like I mean like friends with, that came out of that panel, like to this
Mm,
day. Like I know you know J Mark, but like I
yeah.
met J Mark at that panel with
Oh,
him
okay.
asking you guys questions about stuff, you know, during that panel, and like you know, we do stuff with J Mark and we message each other and all that kind of stuff all the time now. And so, on that note, how important has your network been to the success of your career?
Everything. I mean, the network is probably it's probably more important than my skill level. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I think that we even tell people like you gotta if you want to get into the industry like you gotta be dope and you gotta know somebody.
The
Um,
combination.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. And so wherever like I think us doing conventions was like so important for us and like branching out and doing shows away from like sort of the East Coast, like going beyond
Yeah.
like Philly and um those. Well, I don't even know if there is a Philly show anymore, but like
Well, there
we
was
used to do.
Wizard World, but that's
Yeah.
Philadelphia Expo now. So they do, yeah, they still do
Okay,
them. Like we go,
yeah.
yeah,
So because we were doing like Baltimore and like all the local stuff, but
yeah,
like growing beyond that and you know talking to people and creating those relationships is really what opened the door to everything we're doing now. I mean, there's like all of it really
yeah,
came from some conversation that we had with someone at a convention or
yeah.
someone we met online or something like that.
I mean, I remember in what I'm gonna call at this point the early days, like you all doing conventions and literally having your portfolios there with you and like having scheduled meetings with
Hmm.
people at conventions to go and show them your work and kind of put yourself in front of people. But I also remember the rejections. Hey, we don't. This isn't a style that works for us. I don't think this is
Yeah,
cool. We
man.
like this stuff, but it doesn't have this. And then also kind of having conversations with you and Flash about how the work you guys did at Six Flags really helped you guys get so good and so fast that it complemented your ability. Like speed was became a more important thing maybe than just pure talent. Like there are people who can put things on paper that nobody else can do, but they can't necessarily do it in a timely fashion, and how that's a thing that people don't realize is important to the business of
Hmm.
comics or even storyboarding and hitting
Yeah.
deadlines and stuff like that. um so but obviously there's been a lot absorbed and learned over time. Is there is there something you want to do that you haven't done
I mean,
that isn't your
in
own
terms of
personal IP? Let me clarify that isn't like your
oh,
own
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
You know what? I think yesterday I saw that DC is doing a new superpower show. I'm so mad I'm not working on that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not it's funny because like I'm real mad that I'm not working on it, but at the same time I'm like I don't want to work on that.
Yeah.
So
What's your desire like to write?
yeah, I definitely want to write. Like I pitched Penny and I each pitched some graphic novel ideas to DC recently, and we haven't pitched anything since
Okay.
since they canceled our show. But yeah, I mean, we definitely want to write because like at the end of the day, like you really so my the way from what I've seen, artists are really treated like I don't know, almost like just this secondary kind of like part of the
Replaceable,
machine.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. You know what I mean? Like it's like, which is so weird to me because in animation, like the artists are like creating the thing, right? You know, like they're they're really like there isn't anything but words, and then the artists come in, and now you have a show. Like
right.
the you don't even like I tell people, you know, that don't understand like storyboards. There is no show until the storyboard artist touches it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah,
have anything to show,
yeah.
right? Um, and so you know it's a visual medium, but to really have a stake in it, like you really need to be like writing. So
What
it's
what
definitely
would
something I want to do.
what would your experience as an artist, and moreover as a storyboard artist, and I guess it depends on what you want to write, whether you want to write something for animation or you want to write comics or a graphic novel or whatever. But like, what do you think that your experience as an artist brings to what you would do as a writer? Like, how would it benefit you?
Well, so a lot of times like you'll get a script and it'll be like 30 pages, which is insane. Um, like
Mhm.
for like a 30-minute or like really like a 20-minute show, like
Yeah,
that's way too much. You're gonna end up cutting so much, or more realistically, drawing a bunch of stuff that's going to get cut. You
it's just a
know,
lot of work.
so
Mhm.
yeah, so much work for like all the people involved, and like you talking, you know, for like an action show, you're usually looking at like three, maybe four storyboard artists, a director, and then a revisionist.
Mhm.
So, uh, like as a writer, I know when it's too much. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like I get that. And then, you know, a lot of times, you know, like a writer can write something that's like this, you know, short like sentence of action, like they fight or whatever. Or you know what I
Right.
mean? But like there's
They
right,
fight.
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Hey, I'll
but
be
like
honest. Sometimes I watch something, I'm like, they might have just wrote "they fight." Like,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, and it's like you don't want the writer to overwrite a fight or an
Sure.
action scene because like you need space to create, to
Mhm.
choreograph. But you know, like you need to get like the story beats in there and things like that. So like you- as an artist who also writes, like I would know, you know where to put those beats and like what does this actually mean to like what the boards are going to end up being like because somebody has to draw that,
Yeah.
and it's not one
Yeah.
drawing, it's like 100 drawings. So, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like all this work, and and like that goes into the budget, right? So somebody
Mhm.
has to draw it, then it takes time, and then um, if the artists aren't able to really flesh that out in the beginning, then like at some point it's got to get fleshed out. At some point, it's going to show itself in the budget. And if that's something I can catch up front as a writer, then that's something that doesn't end up needing to be redone later on down the line.
Right. Right. You could save a lot of money and a lot of, you know, wasted time and energy
Hmm.
Yeah.
based on the knowledge you have going in, having had to be on the side of it that you've been on.
Yep.
How often do you use yourself as a reference for poses in your boards?
Like anytime I need like hand reference.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing like a close up of hands, because hands are I don't have a hard time drawing hands, but like is when it's a close up, like you really got to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that. Um, and then in general, like I throw myself into the boards any
Sure. Sure.
anytime I get. Um, but then like usually actually instead of using myself, like I'll use um like
Action
action
figures or something.
figures. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I can um I can like stage these, right? Like however I
Sure.
want, and then take a still and then use that as a reference. So it's more convenient for me.
Is it?
Okay.
Does that inform the way you look for your action figures? Like, are you looking for fully
I was
articulated?
thinking
Like,
that.
I want figures that I want the GI Joe with all the arm rotation,
Yeah.
kung fu grip.
Yeah,
Like, I need
I
all of that.
definitely like a figure that has good articulation. Like I'm frustrated when they can't
Mm-hmm.
achieve certain poses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like a lot of the stuff I get is I've kind of chilled out on Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
They usually work pretty good, but I've kind of chilled out on those, and so
Okay.
now like um I'll pick up like the imported like Mafex figures.
Mhm.
Like those are they're more expensive, but they like you can see it, you know.
And he
What?
said that's what he tells people for why he gets them for research purposes. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Jerry. You post them things. You take all the pictures you need, baby. That's a write off. You know what I mean? Like you got to write some things off. You know what I'm saying? That's
Exactly.
what it is.
Oh man.
Has doing poses and like taking stills to inform like your boards or any of that? Have you ever thought about getting into photography?
I have thought about it, and like it's something that I think I would like to do as like a hobby, but like
Sure.
I don't have any time. You know what I
I
mean?
get
Like
it.
I feel like
I get it.
my days just it's like every day. Next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
get that.
every day, it's only
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock in the morning.
It's only ever 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock right
Yeah.
now. 1 o'clock. It's 1 a.m. right now. I get
Right.
it. You're busy. Yeah. I mean, give me the inside scoop on how how important it is to have a partner like you do in Penny that understands the work you do,
Mm.
and vice
I
versa.
mean, for me, it's everything. Like I don't uh like this work that we do. Like it's been a real challenge sometimes. Like especially when we were getting started. Like I mean, a lot of times we was broke, like
Yeah.
all the way broke. You
Yeah.
know, like that secret 20 from Target broke.
I feel you. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
All right.
But I think as creatives, uh, like working towards something, like we both understand, what it takes, and I think anytime I might falter, like she's there, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that we have that focus together. That was really everything, and then even like the the move coming out to LA was like this whole thing. Because at one point I think we were paying rent at like three places,
Oof.
so that was like
Yikes.
a
Oof.
real yeah, right, like that was a real challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like it is. I mean, y'all know, like life be
Mm-hmm.
life, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It does indeed life sometimes.
yeah,
Life does
Facts.
indeed life sometimes. Um,
and you can't uh you can't do it alone. You just can't.
I mean, it's important to have again a good partner, but especially one who understands like when you understand each other's stresses,
Yeah.
right? Like you know what stress is. But y'all
Hmm.
you guys do, you work at home from home, right? A lot of the majority of the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is it? How do you turn off work? Like a lot of people struggle with leaving work at home, not bringing them or allowing them to invade their personal space, trying to create separation. How do you do that?
I'm not good at separating myself from work. I don't think. Like
Mm,
I'm just bad at it, and I
okay.
think a lot of it is like the stuff that I do for a living is the stuff that I do also for fun.
Sure.
Um, so I'm just it's really difficult for me to not be thinking about some of this stuff in some way.
Hmm.
And I think, like I don't know, like it's just tough. I think Penny's better at it than me.
Okay.
But I think like something that helps is just uh having like specific time to just step away from my desk.
Yeah.
Get out of this space. And then, like when we're having dinner, like we usually break for a few hours so that we, can eat and like watch some TV and just chill out. And then, stuff like going to the movies, checking out Captain America, um,
Yeah.
hitting up Disneyland. That's we did that this week. That was good.
Yeah.
Really
It's a good
important.
way to unwind.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's your happy place. Disney is your happy place. Is that
That's Penny's happy place.
got it? Her happy place is your happy place. I just want you to know, sir. That's how this
Pretty
works.
much. Pretty much.
That's how this works. So so your answer was supposed to be yes. Yeah, yeah. Um correct. Jerry, I know you're working on stuff and I don't know how free you are to say what it is you're working on. So I don't even want to I don't really want to even get into that, but what I do want to do is just make sure everybody who's hanging out with us now knows where they got to go to find you, where they can hang out and see you. So what's the best ways for people to do that? Penny's
You can the I know.
hmm hmm
Yeah, the best place to find me is Instagram at the franchise art. Um, you can Google me, just Jerry Gaylord on the internet. I'm out there.
Yeah.
Um, or turn on Disney Plus, watch some X-Men, watch some What If.
Yeah. That's right.
Check those out.
I dig that. Have you
Yeah.
watched the new Spider-Man show, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
I'm not caught up. I'm not caught up. I've seen I think the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes.
Let me make a recommendation, sir.
Uh
Yes. You need to get caught up.
huh.
Like, I know you busy, my guy.
Yeah.
You need to get caught up.
All
There's
right.
some
All right.
things. There's some things happening. That last episode, boy. The last 6 seconds of the last episode. Get caught up. You should absolutely
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Y'all make sure you guys go follow Jerry, follow his antics. You know what I mean? Check out what he's doing. He and Penny have been working on posting every day. Some of what they're working on and what it's like to work on the stuff that that they do, and kind of showing you some of their warm ups. Hyperboy, you know what I mean? For the win, little
Hey.
Hyperboy
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
Um,